Now, I've told you all we're going to do these tiers lists for positional players, which players I think are the best at each position, playing their primary position. Yesterday we did catchers. Today we're doing first base. If you're a new player to MLB The Show, or if you are an experienced player, this can help you aim for the next player you want to get on your squad. So we're going to go with number 5 instead of number 1 this time around. And we're going to go to first base and all the way to page 2. Top 2 for number 5 because they're tied. I was going to put them as honorable mentions, but honestly, I'll leave them tied. 1 is going to be Luke Voit, because Luke Voit, even though he's injured, he usually is playing up for the Yankees. Regardless, he has a really good swing in the game. Similar to Will Smith, anything he touches, he crushes. Even though the fielding is not great at first base, you don't need great fielding in my opinion. And then tied with him at 5th place is going to be Max Muncy. And why are these two tied together, you might be asking? Well, if you look at the other cards available here, you're going to see they're much more expensive and they're all around the same price as them. And they give you exactly the same value as them. But these cards, these two selling for 1K each, you can get the same value. And then because they are live series players, they are going to play up, and they might play either above their attributes or below their attributes. When they're legends or flashbacks, unfortunately, they do not do the same thing. But those are my number 5s. It's going to be Max Muncy and Luke Voit. At number 4, oddly enough, we just got this player today in a player program. I was inspecting him out, and I said, this dude is a monster. If you're a no money spend account, he can definitely be your first baseman. So the first thing that jumps out at you is the 90 power, but most importantly, above 80 power on both sides, meaning he'll be able to take one out versus a left-hander, and he'll be able to take one out versus a right-hander. He has 70s all across for his contact and then his vision, which is great, meaning the PCI isn't really going to change much. So versus a right-hander, it's going to be the same size as versus a left-hander. So if you are comfortable using players that don't change PCI outlooks as they bat, then you're going to be fine. And what I mean by that is a lot of hitters, they are only good against one side in terms of contact. So versus a left-hander, let's say for example, if he had 30 contact, his PCI would be extremely small. But because he has higher contact versus a right-hander, it would be a lot bigger. But because both of them are near the same number, it's going to be the same size no matter what hand is thrown at you, which I find to be beautiful. No money spent. This is definitely someone to go after as number 4. For number 5, we're going to go to Atlanta. And this time around, we're going to a live series player once again. So we go to live series, we go to first baseman, and it's a player that I currently have. It's going to be Freddie Freeman. I love this Freddie Freeman card. Even though the power is underwhelming as opposed to Fred McGriff, he does have a lot more contact versus right. So that's beautiful. Another thing is Freddie Freeman plays up until the times. And even though fielding is not important at first base, if the fielder does have good reaction and good fielding, it allows him to make more plays at the end of the day. Even though it is really not essential at first base, you really want to bat. And Freddie Freeman is going to give you that bat no matter what, because he has a really good swing in the game. Just like Luke Voit, just like Max Muncy, Freddie Freeman has a really short, compact swing where it's just straight to the ball and then he just drives it. If you were to ever catch any of my live streams, you would see me use Freddie Freeman all the time, and you would see he's just one of the monsters that no matter where you put the PCI, he's going to drive the pitch. And you love to have players that have glitchy swings like that. And speaking of my live stream, if you want to be notified whenever I go live, follow me on all my socials, which are listed above me. Make sure y'all hit that red subscribe button, turn on the channel notifications. If you have been enjoying this video, hit that like button as well. Make sure you also become a member if you would like to. Not make sure, excuse me on that. If you would like to become a member of the channel by pressing that join button next to that red subscribe button if you're on desktop, or the link inside the description if you are on mobile. Now let's continue. We're at number 3. Now it's time to go ahead and reveal number 2. And number 2 was a pleasant surprise, and a pretty cheap surprise too if you really think about it. So you're going to go towards your inventory and you're going to go to my MLB players, and he's going to play all the way at the White Sox. Now, how do you obtain this Polka Nurko? You obtain him by collecting all of the White Sox players. So roughly he's going to cost, I would say, around the same price as our boy Freddie Freeman, because Liam Hendricks, he's going to be somewhere along the lines of 20K. And then everybody else that's gold is going to be 1K maximum or 1K minimum, in my opinion. But some of them are a little bit more expensive because they are predicted to go diamond soon. And then some of them are a little bit expensive because they dropped out of diamond. But in general, this collection should probably cost you a maximum of 50K. But if you do all sell orders, or buy orders I should say, instead of sell orders, then I could see you getting away with it at 35K. Now, this Polka Nurko is amazing. I mean, both power sides are above a 90. The contact versus right is an 85, which is better than what we've seen from Fred McGriff, and it rivals Freddie Freeman. The contact versus left, no one has better contact versus left than this man out of the 4 that we have seen prior to this. And then on the power side of things, he has over 90 power on both sides. So definitely the best power hitting first baseman that we have seen out of all the ones, and a pretty cheap one too, in my opinion. Just get that White Sox collections done. Get yourself Polka Nurko. He has a good swing from what I've heard, and that's going to be great. Now at number 1, it shouldn't be no surprise to anyone that the best first baseman in the game is going to be one of the most expensive first basemen in the game as well. David Ortiz. How do you get this big poppy? You get this big poppy by collecting all of the American League teams. So every single Live Series player that plays for an American League team, you will have to have collected and basically done the team collection of it. And you're going to earn a bunch of more rewards along the way. Now, why is this the best first baseman in the game? I mean, you're looking at it. The dude has over 100 in each and every single category when it comes to hitting. The 93 vision is really, really good as well, especially when you go on to Hall of Fame and Legend. If you've seen any of the top players use them on any of the live streams, you will see that Big Poppy just hits dingers, and that's what he's known for. He also has 38 speed, which is pretty good for Big Poppy in my opinion. I was surprised to see it that high. Now, 116 contact versus right, 103 contact versus left. Clearly, the PCI is going to be a little bit bigger against right-handed pitching, but at the end of the day, it's over 100. So it's going to be enormous versus left-handers. 125 power versus right, meaning he squares one up, it's leaving. 103 power versus left, meaning he squares one up, it's leaving as well. The fielding, reaction, all of that, it's nonsense, not really too important when it comes to first basemen. Now, we left a couple of guys out that you might be wondering, hey, are they honorable mentions at least? And these guys are players like Freddie Freeman, or not Freddie Freeman, excuse me, players like Prince Fielder and Don Mattingly, because those are the 2 newest diamonds that came out. So when you look at Freddie Freeman, he does have good numbers. He does have good numbers. You need to hit World Series for him. But the thing that I disliked from him is he's a little bit too expensive, or he's a little bit more expensive than Freddie Freeman, Prince Fielder. I think I've said Freddie Freeman for him twice now. But he's a little bit more expensive than Freddie Freeman, and he's going to give you the same bang for your buck that Freddie Freeman is going to give you when it comes to fielding and when it comes to hitting, especially if Freddie Freeman is playing up. For example, Freddie Freeman right now has 97 contact versus right and 96 power versus right. This card right here has less contact and a little bit more power. So as long as the power is over an 80, if you square it up, it should leave. So at the end of the day, as I said previously, Freddie Freeman is going to give you, if not the same value, it's going to rival big time the value that you get. And they got the same speed. Both of them got a pretty good swing, and they go for the same price. So at the end of the day, yeah, you can say either or, but because this one is a little bit more hard to obtain and doesn't go towards any collection currently, I would put Freddie Freeman above him, but they can be interchanged at number 3. Don Mattingly, on the other hand, is a platoon hitter. Even though he has great contact versus left, he's really not going to be hitting too much home runs. As I always say, the fielding doesn't really matter at first base. Now, yes, these guys, Prince Fielder and Don Mattingly, are both better than Luke Voit and Max Muncy, but I like giving you all an option, especially if you are no money spent or you don't have the stubs necessary to go out and capture these players. Plus, this guy is limited because he's the second inning program boss, and the 2 other choices besides him are a lot better. So I would be damned if you go ahead and pick up Don Mattingly instead of Lee Smith or Jason Bay, to be honest with you all. And those are going to be my tier list for first basemen. If you did end up enjoying today's content, hit that like button, hit that red subscribe button, turn on the channel notifications. Don't forget to follow me on all my socials. And if you would like to, you can become a member of the channel by pressing that join button or the link in the description. Have a blessed day and night. Stay positive, stay safe, stay blessed. And I will catch you all on the next one. Peace out.